Hey Canonites, welcome back. As it stands, it's safe to say I'm pretty late to this party. A lot of news about the Halo TV show has come out since its formal announcement last year, as well as the last time I actually dedicated a video to it, back when Rupert Wyatt left. There's a reason for that though. If you follow me on Twitter, you've probably seen some of my less than productive responses to certain pieces of news. While I didn't hold back there, generally speaking, I wanted to avoid talking about it here until I could collect my thoughts and talk about things in a more constructive manner. Plus, I wouldn't mind having some substantial lore content to discuss. At this point, I think we're getting there on both fronts, so it's a good time to sit down and talk about the Halo TV show, and perhaps set some expectations both for you all watching and for myself. So, let's talk about the Halo TV series coming sometime in 2021. The big thing to talk about is, of course, casting, and there's nowhere better to start than with the man playing the face of the Halo franchise. In April of this year, it was announced that Pablo Schreiber, known for his work in American Gods and Orange is the New Black, would play John 117, the Master Chief. Standing at 6'5" with a decent build and strong acting chops, Pablo is a solid choice for the Spartan a few words. Generally, I don't think anyone was upset with this choice, I certainly wasn't, and some of his social media posts have been pretty encouraging. Just look up #MakingMasterChief on Instagram. There is one important thing to note, however. It's very unlikely that you would cast a guy like Pablo and want to cover up his face the entire time. It's not that difficult to find a physically capable actor with some stature and put him in a suit of armor the entire time with another actor providing voiceover. It's essentially what they did with Daniel Cudmore in Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn. He's a good actor, but he's not one that you cast so you can put a camera on his face, at least I don't think so. Pablo, on the other hand, with his recent work, especially American Gods, seems more the type. And to be clear, what I'm talking about here is that you want to show off his face to get people to sit down and watch the show. Daniel I don't think is that sort of actor, Pablo more so. Now, I'm not talking about a helmet off in every episode sort of situation, but I think we should expect to see Pablo's face more than once during this series. But who knows, maybe we'll only see the occasional partial face reveal a la Halo 4 rather than full face close-ups. Showtime president Gary Levine was asked about this and only said, "We'll have to wait and see." Whatever the case ends up being, as I'm sure some of you have guessed, I just don't want to see the Master Chief standing around with his helmet on while other Spartans are helmet off. It's unnatural and it breaks my suspension of disbelief. Moving on, around the same time that Schreiber was cast, an actor named Yeren Ha, I hope I pronounced that correctly, was cast as a brand new character named Quan Ah. There's not much else to discuss here, but it was, at the time, our first indication of new characters being created for the show. As time went on, we got more cast announcements, which have some very interesting implications for the kind of story we might be getting from this show. Let's start things off with other Spartans. British actor Bentley Kalu will be playing Spartan Vanek 134, who is described as the de facto deputy of the Master Chief. Another Brit, Natasha Kolzak, will be playing Spartan Riz 028, described as focused, professional, and deadly. And rounding out our main Spartan team will be Kate Kennedy as Kai 125, described as courageous, curious, and deadly. The reaction to this news was mixed, as I'm sure it is for many of you just hearing it. No blue team?
Good guess, but actually no.
It's important to keep in mind that the composition of Spartan 2 teams is fluid, the only constant being that John would lead blue team. Even that technically isn't true since John led red team at least once during Spartan training, but that was training. Still, out in the field, the composition of Spartan teams would change based on the operation and mission needs. For example, during the Fall of Reach, blue team was comprised of John 117, Linda 058, and James 005, while Fred 104 led 21 other Spartans as red team. Numerous other examples exist, but I won't bore you with listing them off. So it's not unreasonable for John to be teamed up with other Spartans now and then. It's lamentable that we won't get to see the blue team we know, but I am excited to see other Spartans in the mix. Although I can't say I'm big on the description of Spartan Vanek being the de facto deputy of the Master Chief. That sounds suspiciously like Fred, but that might just be marketing jargon. We'll see. Whatever the case is, I do hope that we get to see other Spartans in the series, hopefully even the members of what we know to be Blue Team. But on the subject of other Spartans, there is one more name to talk about, the infamous Soren 066, who will be played by Bokeem Woodbine. Soren as a character first appeared in the short story Pariah as part of the anthology Halo Evolutions. It's an absolutely great story, and in it, Soren eventually joins the insurrection after his augmentations left him deformed and unable to join his fellow Spartans on the battlefield. In the end, he evades UNSC capture after crashing a longsword. At the time, Dr. Halsey suspected that Soren was still alive, and fans have been waiting for years to see if he might reappear in the fiction. I gotta say, bringing him into the TV show is absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait to see what they do with him. In an article from IGN, Soren is described as a, quote, morally complex privateer from the fringes of human civilization whose fate will bring him into conflict with his former military masters and his old friend, the Master Chief. To me, that all but confirms that we'll see the insurrection in some manner, but to what degree remains to be seen. Whatever the case, Bokeem is a fantastic actor, and I'm excited to see what he might do with the character. That wraps up the confirmed Spartans for the show, but we still have other characters to discuss. First is Margaret Perengoski, who will be played by Indian actress Shabana Azmi. It seems the body of her work has been in Indian films, so I can't say too much personally about her acting capability. However, some quick research shows that she is highly regarded as one of India's finest actresses, having won India's National Film Award for Best Actress 5 times, a record by the way, and it's noted that she had to give up 2 other projects in India to take on this role. I don't know about you, but to me, these are all good signs. It seems she has a passion for this role, which is always good. Admiral Margaret Perengoski was the head of the Office of Naval Intelligence, ONI, throughout the Human Covenant War, only retiring sometime after 2553. She is noted as being shrewd and highly intelligent with a cold demeanor. In short, an imposing figure given her apparent frailty. We have never seen Perengoski visually depicted in the canon, so I can't wait to see how Ms. Azmi brings the character to life. The final member of the cast that we'll be talking about is probably the one with the most implications, that being Natasha McElhone, who will be playing Dr. Catherine Halsey and Cortana. Now, we've known for a while that Dr. Halsey would be in the TV series, though the original casting call was for someone in their mid-50s to 60s, which Natasha isn't. This makes me wonder if we might see Halsey at various ages, perhaps jumping around the timeline. However, the appearance of Cortana is what brings a lot of things into question. In the canon, Cortana wasn't created until 2549 and didn't meet the Master Chief until August 29th, 2552, literally a day before the fall of Reach. So, depending on the setting, we could see a show with John and Cortana, but the two never meet. Alternatively, perhaps the show is something of a flashback, with Cortana looking into John's service record and the show depicting those events. I had personally envisioned Cortana looking at John's uncensored records while the Pillar of Autumn was undergoing its final shakedown on August 30th as described in Halo: The Fall of Reach, but others have put forth the idea that Cortana could be looking into his records and the records of other Spartans as she decides who will carry her during Operation Red Flag. Both options are a good way to have Cortana in the show if she absolutely has to appear. However, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up certain statements from 343 Industries head of Transmedia, Kiki Wolfkill. She has noted that specific locations and dates may change for the sake of practicality, and noted that they might end up considering the show its own, quote, branch of canon, because we want to acknowledge that we've deviated and also want to be clear why. At the time these quotes came out, the larger lore community, myself included, I'm a bit ashamed to say now, saw this as confirmation that the TV show would be non-canon, or not in the same canon that we currently know, but I don't think that's what's being said. A, quote, branch of canon is a very vague term and could technically apply to any media Halo is involved in. The games are one branch of canon, the books are their own branch, and so on. More recently, in August, Showtime president Gary Levine reaffirmed that the TV show is not, quote, going to violate any of the things in the canon. Ultimately, we'll have to wait for more detail when the show starts shooting and when we actually get some story details. At the moment, however, whatever the show might be, what it sounds like we'll be getting is a new story in the Halo canon that may have to make some retcons for the sake of the story being told, or because of the medium of television, might need to condense or rearrange some things. Swinging back to Natasha McElhone for a moment, she seems a perfect choice for a live-action Halsey and Cortana. Besides being a good idea to cast the same actress for both roles for obvious reasons, Natasha is a solid actress and even kinda resembles Jen Taylor. The one thing that concerns me at the moment is Natasha's blonde hair. This is kind of stupid, I'll be the first to admit, but I do have this nagging worry at the back of my mind that they'll make Halsey a blonde in the TV show because Halsey is blonde in Halo Legends. If you know anything about me, I'm a stickler for detail, and Halsey is supposed to have black hair, graying when she's older. But anyway, I do believe that catches us up to the current state of the Halo TV series. A lot of casting choices have me excited, but certain statements and production choices leave me skeptical. If you look at my older videos on the TV show and what I'd like to see from it, you'll know that a show with the Master Chief at the center was never on my mind, and that remains true regardless of my more positive feelings about the casting choice. Ultimately, I hope the TV show is good, and I do hope it does well. Halo is perfect for a live-action treatment, but as we've seen, it can go wrong. At this point, I'd say I'm cautiously pessimistic, but again, I do want the show to succeed. I just hope it succeeds while being true to the established canon. But these are just my thoughts. What are yours? Do you like the casting choices so far, and what do you think of the show right now? Let me know in the comments below. That's all for now, but until next time, this has been Halo Canon. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing, and if you really love me, hit that notification bell and leave a thumbs up. These both really help out the channel. I wouldn't be where I am now without your views and support, so once again, thank you. Keep on being awesome, Canonites.